अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं बलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. So today, because I wanted to discuss reincarnation and idolatry, I decided to start off with Hari Bhajan. So here we go. So welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for revisiting this channel. It keeps me going, and so today we are going to discuss why Hindus do idolatry and why do we worship idols. So the thing is, imagine if you are a scientist, okay, and you know you are about to create something. It could be anything. It could be, a machine, or it could be, let's say, a vaccine, right? You know that you are going to create this corona vaccine. You know what this is going to be doing, because you know why you are doing it, right? You know that we are going to create this vaccine, and it is supposed to heal people from corona, right? So you may have created many samples, and all of them were supposed to be healing people from corona. But sometimes what happens is, when you create something, you are not sure what outcomes might be, what reactions they are going to be doing with each other, and what you can never be sure that what will be the final outcome from it, right? So when creator created this universe, the sole purpose was it to experience this material world and then come back to god. But when you create something, you never know what they are going to be doing in future, whether they are going to be taking advantage of their knowledge, their power, or whatever, money or whatever. They may not be doing what they are supposed to be doing, right? So when we talk about reincarnations, specifically of Hari, like specifically of Vishnu reincarnations, why he keeps coming back each yuga is to re-establish dharma and to teach and guide people towards the one path that they were supposed to be going towards, right? So what happens is, they create humans, and each and every human being in this planet has some life purpose, have some soul purpose. And in astrology, there are planets of each individual. You will have one planet who is your atmakarak. And what is atmakarak? Atmakarak means when that particular planet represents what you are supposed to be doing in this life, and that shows your soul purpose. So when you were being created, your sole purpose was decided, your destiny was decided. But what you may be doing after coming onto this planet may not be completely, god may not be completely sure of it, because you can't say. This is why our scriptures say that whatever happens in your life, 50% it's your destiny and 50% it's your own free will that you were given because you are human. So 50% free will. There are people who will take advantage of that free will and may do bad karmas, and completely change the meaning of dharma itself, which we can see in the Mahabharata, right? So a lot of things can happen, and this is why god has to keep coming back to take reincarnations, right? So I create corona vaccine, and if I have created it, I have to take accountability of it, right? So when it goes out of hands and when it is not giving the results it was supposed to be giving, I have to be there in some form, right? In some form, to stop that from happening. So that is why creator, who is also god, sometimes reincarnates to re-establish the dharma that we were supposed to be doing, but we are not doing. So that's why he keeps reincarnating. Now coming back to the debate, that the argument that a lot of Abrahamic followers, ask that God is always shapeless, and how can God speak, and how can God have mouths and all that. So if let's talk about your own religions, let's say Quran says that Allah says Allah is watching, Allah is hearing. How is he hearing when he is not even has ear? How is he speaking when he doesn't how is he saying, how is Allah saying when he doesn't have the mouth? How is he watching when he doesn't have the ear? So when you talk about Hindu scriptures, we never say, we do have the concept of shapeless and formless and genderless God. But whenever there is gods are speaking, whenever there is mention of certain kinds of philosophies which are coming from God, we always say Krishna says, Shiva says. We never say Parbrahma says. Why? Because Parbrahma doesn't have mouth, ears, or eyes. So he is not going to speak or say anything, but he is also God. So whatever were separated, deities from Parabrahma, who were supposed to be doing certain kinds of duties, they will guide you. They are guiding. So they are saying, they are watching, and they are taking account, accounts of each and every actions, each and every karma that you are doing. So we never say Parabrahma says. We always say Krishna says, because he has mouth, because he is watching, he has eyes, and because he has ears. Right? So this is the difference. So when you say Allah is watching, Allah is saying, how is he doing all this when he doesn't even have any kind of shape? So this is what happens, because Hinduism is not a man-made religion, right? It's not like today I woke up and decided to create a religion, and because I wanted some followers. It has never been like that. It has been there since the time of creation. It has been there since the time of humans, even before humans were created, right? So we were all the four Vedas. Our religion is mainly all the scriptures, all the Puranas and all are based on four Vedas, and they came from Brahmaji itself. No human being wrote it. All the other shastras are based on that only. They took guidance and inspiration from Vedas only. So this is not a man-made religion. So you need to be, so this is why it is leading to higher good, and it is not misguiding, because it is not partial towards anybody. So now coming back to idolatry, so why do we worship idols? So you need to understand that whenever we create a temple, first of all, we follow certain Vastu rules of infrastructure, which again create certain kinds of energetic centers, and then we create idols, and what we don't directly go and worship them. No. First we do pran pratishtha, then we do murti pratishtha, and then we do worshipping, then we start worshipping, right? And now you might say that everybody has temples in their homes, they are not doing pran pratishtha, then how are they are performing rituals and all. You see, when Mughal invaders came in India, and they destroyed a lot of temples. In ancient times, we used to have a big temple in the very center of a state or a city, and everybody used to go to that temple only. We never had small temples at our homes, but because idolatry was being viewed like that, and they started attacking our temples, and we were not allowed to go out and worship our gods. We had to start building small temples and put it at home. But the idols we originally were supposed to be worshipping had certain process and rituals to be gone through before we start worshipping them. And what is pran pratishtha? So when we have an idol, we do certain kinds of rituals, and we invoke their specific deity, and we invite them to reside in that one ansh, that one particle of that god comes and reside in that particular idol. So it is not just a stone for us, it is God for us, because the one part of God has come down and resided in that, so people can come there and find their peace. Okay, so it's not just a stone for us. We do pran pratishtha, we do murti pratishtha, and then we worship. This used to be the original way of worshipping our gods. And this is why it is also advised by a lot of gurus that start practicing going to temples every day, and make it a habit, because it's a good habit. That is the real temple, right? That is where the god actually resides. So does it mean that when you worship at home by yourself, you recite certain mantras, and it doesn't do anything? No. When you chant certain mantras, you create certain kinds of energies, and you directly see there is one particle of god already that resides on you. So when you pray, when you remember god, he will directly connect with you. When you go to temple, specific kind of deity that you want to meet is residing there, and that is a whole different level of presence, that is a whole different level of vibe, because he's himself is sitting there, and you go meet him. So that's why it is said. And also, this is why I say that a lot of things in our culture that we are practicing, that we think is our culture, but is not actually our culture. It is something which was being imposed upon ourselves by Mughal invaders, and this is just one examples of it, and there are so many other examples, right? So uh, next time when somebody asks you why do you worship god, why do you have so many gods, this is the reason. Okay, so take care, goodbye.
सर जो उठेगा धड़ से कटेगा गाँव में जीतेगा कहाँ पे बचेगा